What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Kickin with Kachi, where we highlight individuals that are doing the damn thing in the industry. And today, I have the honor of bringing back an amazing guest. I think you were my fourth guest on Kickin with Kachi 2 years ago when you were starting out, I was starting out. Aaron Abney, principal founder of interior design and everything art related that should go in your home. By Aaron Abney. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Congratulations on the success Kicking It with Kachi.
Thank you.
And the DC Voice and all the great stuff that you're doing over there. Incredible shit, man. Incredible.
And, you know, for people watching this, it's a little different than other interviews because this is like my third return interview. Like usually I have people coming on and it's their journey and how they started and highlighting that platform. But we go way back, and even Kicking the Kachi ways, we go way back, right? So
way back before I think we were 18 when we met.
18, young, bold, and afraid.
Now, yeah.
So last time we were in the Kicking It with Kachi space, right? You were starting out, just ventured into interior design, really coming into home decor, right? And really taking your brand and your business off the ground, right? And now 2 years later, you've done a multitude of projects, have your own incubator space. Like what has been going on? What's new? What's been in the works since the last time we spoke?
Yes. So since the last time we spoke, I kind of jumped off the porch, as people would say.
Yeah.
I was let go or laid off from my corporate job, which allowed me to go full-time into running my firm, and full-time into painting and doing artistic work and things of that nature. So last May, probably May 13th or so, was the beginning of Davenport Avenue 2.0. Prior to that, doing projects in our spare time. The projects were a little bit smaller, but it seemed like once I was started to tell people I am an interior designer, that I was leading with that in conversation, the projects just started to come. So over the last year, we've had the pleasure of working with a few restaurants and getting their design development done. And, you know, some of them through execution, some of them didn't make it through execution, but that's the name of the game. And we learned that full-time year. We've also done some very large home projects. I had the pleasure of doing a 10,000 square foot new build. So it was taken down to the studs and we replaced everything. So that was an opportunity that kind of changed the trajectory of my career. I've always I wanted the company to get into the luxury residential space.
Right.
That was into it. Luckily, he was an alum of my former high school, and it just worked out. So we were able to do a number of big projects like that. I was able to hire a design assistant. The lovely Lauren Tools is on my team.
Assistant.
Yeah, so we were able to become more of a legitimate business. I think other guests have shared, there is no roadmap to entrepreneurship. There's definitely, models to follow, but all those models don't really fit where you are. So you definitely have to make it fit, and that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been doing, is making sure that Davenport Avenue is where we want it to be and continuing to grow. We're not where I want to be just yet, but we aren't where we started, and that's a great accomplishment. So,
and like you said, beautiful. I have to give it to you. I gotta give it to you. But beautiful piece, and like speaking to that idea of going for broke, right? Like literally, as you said, I got laid off going for broke, right? Understanding that this is probably a pivot in the direction of your creative passion, not a pivot into finding another corporate job or finding another job to pay the bills, but something to fill your spirit. And how has it building, as you said, a legitimized and also streamlined business? What sort of things did you have to learn from it being just Aaron Abney to now principal founder and creative designer of Davenport Avenue, right? Like those two
Right.
things sometimes have a duality, right? And where you're, like you said, assisting and big projects and also multitude of people, as opposed to primarily have it just been you when you first started.
Yeah, so you have to wear multiple hats. So I think as a budding entrepreneur, we delve into the product, right? Creating the product, creating the service, and we're just focused on providing great business. However, I now wear the hat of I have to provide great business and serve my clients well, but I also now have to serve my employees. I have to
Right.
independent contractors well. And I always have to be forward thinking about, okay, well, how do I make sure that we still have a business in 5 years? How do I make sure that we have cash flow, the velocity of cash is coming in so that, we're not, below water
Right.
because of funding. So we're doing this very organically. And so I say all that to say that in the two roles, one, I'm an operator. One role, I'm a designer. I'm focusing on the art. I'm focusing on the story. I'm, creating a story out of the client's vision. The other part of that is, me leading the organization to the next level. And so that's really what it is. That's really what it is. Forgive me, I'm getting a FaceTime call here. One moment. My bad.
Yeah, we got your audio, but your visual was a little frozen. Let me give you a couple moments while I get to the next question. You're good? Great.
Yes, I think we're good. We're good.
Great, great. Yes, we're good.
So
Yes.
you just have to be I've had to become open to being a better leader, right? Everybody thinks
Right.
they're a leader, but when the time comes when people need you to kind of they ask you what the next step is, and you need to be able to provide resources, give them the direction to achieve that next step. It's a great task, and it's a task that I wasn't expecting, but that I embrace.
And I would love to talk about the idea also of when it comes to legitimizing, wow, I can't even speak English, legitimizing your business, right? There also comes with, I feel for a lot of creators, that fear of taking themselves too seriously. And I mean that to say where when we are starting out, it's very easy to say, oh, don't put your prices too high or give more than what you take because this is supposed to be some sort of experience for you to gain that exposure, right? Was there ever a moment for you where in breaking through and having that Davenport Avenue 2.0, you're like, oh, hell no. I'm setting my prices to where there should be industry standard. We're streamlining this whole business. We're getting employees and getting an assistant, and we're going full steam ahead like any other design firm, any other interior design firm that is been here for 50, 100 years.
Yeah, there was definitely that point, right? There was definitely that point where I was like, okay, I'm cutting too many favors. My
Right,
people are eating up the margins in the name of relationships. And so there was definitely that point where I said I'd have to stick to my price. But I will say that I did that at my pace. For the time that I was giving discounts and I was doing projects for experience, that was time I really, really needed. That laid the foundation for me. So now I can demand a certain price because I have a wealth of knowledge that I've
right.
developed and a portfolio. And, I didn't make that much on the portfolio, but I was able to survive. I was able to grow. And so there's definitely a point where you have to say, okay, everybody else is taking themselves seriously. I need to take myself seriously as well. And I'm not comparing myself to every Joe Schmo on the street that does home
Right,
renovation, but I'm comparing myself to those who are leading the marketplace because that's
right.
where I get. So I'm closing that gap slowly but surely that, okay, I see their price level. I see how they do customer acquisition. Okay, let me model mine after that so that we can, close the gap because I'm trying to get where they're getting, where they're at.
Right, exactly. And to your point as well, I think that it speaks to confidence, right? That a lot of creators have that imposter syndrome where they're really passionate about what they want to do, but do they really feel confident in their abilities to take that next step, go to that next level? And it
I
is,
I would
oh,
venture to say, Kachi, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I would venture to say that you don't have to be confident.
right,
You don't have to be confident. I think if you just need to relay confidence, you really don't have to feel that internally. I
right,
think moments that I that I'm operating in the business, I don't feel like my best self. But the problem needs to get solved, and I need to relay confidence to, my client and my team, and I do that. But I can't lie that sometimes it's acting. So, sometimes you do fake it till you make it. It is, it's a growth process. You aren't confident in a class when you first get in it, but by the end of it, by the time you graduate, you feel like you have a expert level of
Right.
understanding. Business is just like that. I think in any business, especially services, just go do it. You will mess up, of course. But it's in the way that you handle adversity. I think it's a great thing. I think the CEO or the editor in chief at Essence, I don't know her position, but she shared that her day isn't bad unless she has 5 failures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you become a master at getting back up. And that's what I do. Like, I'm not that confident, but I know I'll get back up, and I know I'll keep trying.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what you need. You just need a little bit of recoil, a little bit of, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my calling. Nobody else can tell me otherwise. I'm here. I'm here to stay. I'm here to, shake up the market. I'm going to get knocked down. I have to embrace it. But, it's the name of the game, man.
Right. And speaking to when we last spoke, right, your paintings, right? This became that started off as this cathartic, emotional release that was in addition to corporate and also working on Davenport Avenue, now working full-time Davenport Avenue and also incorporating this art that has become a central piece to your designing and your interior design process. So how has your growth also been as an artist, learning how to find yourself through art, through expressing yourself on the canvas? How has that journey been?
I I'm growing with my art. So as I grow more as a Black man in America, um I am experiencing different things, right? I'm experiencing the way the world interacts with me and my peers. I'm experiencing how people treat me as an entrepreneur, a young Black entrepreneur. And so that is starting to reflect in my art. My art now is not, I started with the goal of my art being for everyone. And I
Right.
don't believe that currently is where we are. My art isn't for everyone, but I think it is for someone who celebrates people of color and the chaos that comes with, being like, a person of color and presenting as a person of color in this country and in this world. So I am now, getting to a place where my art is speaking to me. Prior
Yeah.
to, last year, my art was just speaking to whoever had a couple dollars to buy it. Uh, honest with you, but now it's really speaking to where I'm headed, what I'm going through, what my mother is going through, what my sisters are going through, what my brother is experiencing, what my father is experiencing. And I'm allowing that art to lead me in my designs. I'm a very much still an abstract expressionist. I think I'm an abstract expressionist designer as well. I'm getting a little bit more minimal in these days, but I am allowing the art to guide me. It is my light source, and the art is my saving grace. The
Right.
design, great, and don't get me wrong, but that is a very science based.
Yeah. Very
It's a
right brain. Yes.
that most people don't realize, but the art is not science based. It's very emotional. It's very it's left up to your interpretation. So it now kind of leads me in a direction, and I'm also interacting with more artists now. I
Yeah.
think or I was not hip to what the art community could provide. But now, as I go to different shows and I'm, developing relationships in the community, I can see that like everybody else's art speaks to a different part of myself. And so all of that is allowing me to become a better leader, a better designer, and a better person to transform homes. So
Right. And speaking to you interacting with other artists, congratulations on your installment that you just had last week.
thank you. Thank
And
you. Thank
you and Kaya presenting your work. Have to get Kaya back on here as well. Have to get
Yes.
her back here as well. But what was that experience like? One, shock drop, and then also seeing, shockingly, a good number of people showing up to see you guys' art and your installations.
I think there is power in being bold, right?
Yeah.
The shock drop was definitely our idea. We're like, I don't care if 2 people show up. We just want 2 people who would come find our house and want to experience our art with us. And so it turned out to be about 30, 40 people that ended
Right.
up coming to our home and seeing the installations. Um, that experience was my second show. But this was more of a, my first show was more of a public vendor setting,
Right.
or of like an art gallery setting where we converted our home into a gallery. Um, it was a moment of I'm here and I'm here to stay.
Yeah.
Because when I started doing art, it really wasn't from a place of, it wasn't from anywhere but aesthetics, right? And like, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, it's selling, it's really working. But now it's like, no, I'm doing this and I'm giving people an insight into like my heart, and to like,
Right.
the fourth wall is gone. Like, this is who I am. So that experience allowed me to feel very present in my artistry. And I'll cherish it forever to be able to do that with a college best friend, and allow people in my home. That's something that I'll keep with me forever.
And I would say that the experience of physically bringing people into your home, and seeing your art is, as you said, bringing people into yourself, your being, into your own heart, and seeing how maybe strangers, friends, acquaintances can have a little bit of sympathy, empathy with you as
Yeah.
they come into your home, and that can also make you more confident and bold as an artist as well.
Yeah. And I think it's allowing community to come to you. So
Yeah.
I did send out, personal invites, and we did do that. But we got some surprise guests from people that we were fans of in the community.
Right.
And I think a lot of us focus on, and I even do it too, like networking. You always want to get, somebody who, or you want to be in proximity with somebody who's doing great work, and you
Right.
always be, nearby. But
Hence
I'm
why
a
I do
firm
this show.
Exactly. And I think I'm a firm believer in that you let that stuff come to you. I think you be aggressive for sure, but you allow, life to be fluid. You allow the relationships to be fluid, allow community to build around you. And you'll wake up one day and realize that this tapestry around you is really simply gorgeous.
And I would say, as you've been getting into homes and restaurants and different areas of one spaces, and then interior designing those spaces, has the relationships been the forefront that's allowed you to tap into knowing how to design a restaurant space as opposed to designing a home, or just a room or a kitchen or a home from the ground up?
The relationships are 100% all of it. Being fully transparent, I wouldn't have gotten half of the opportunities I received this past year without the relationships. So I will say that treat people right, uh, right, and do right by people, and they'll want to show up for you, and they'll want to give you an opportunity. I will also say that just because somebody isn't like in my specific industry, I can still learn from them. So every restaurant owner, lounge owner, hair salon owner, Detroit investor, homeowner, everybody was teaching me something different. And none of them were in interior design industry, but they were all teaching me how to operate and how to, become a better person and a better leader, and make my business that much better as a byproduct of those two things. So the relationships I lean on, I'll continue to lean on them. I'm leaning more across now than I did up. I'm
Yeah.
not on my tippy toes as much. I don't necessarily want acceptance from the creme de la creme. I think it'll be great. And
Yeah.
it'll happen one day. I think it'll happen organically though. I think I'm gonna, ride with my crew on the level that I'm at, and we all, kind of race together. So
Right. And I mean, that's the beautiful thing about it. I've always, the ethos of Kickin with Kachi is that networking sideways, right? Like people that I know, that I can touch, that I can reach, because to be honest, why would I seek the acceptance or the DM from a blue verified person when I have Davenport Abney doing $1 million homes in
yeah,
Detroit, right? You know
yeah,
what I'm
and
saying?
there's so much power in, oh, this person knows my story and they care
Right.
about my success. And there's a lot of beauty in that too. I think if you just open your eyes and lean lean sideways and just see what other people are doing. Yes, everything might not work out, but some things will fall into place. And I think, they'll lean to their networks, and it's just, it's a chain reaction. It is.
And as you said, at the base of it all, if you ain't got nothing, at least you learn something from it. As
Yeah.
you said, you're always learning.
Yes. Always learning, always being open. I think all CEOs, entrepreneurs, and business owners, and anybody who has any type of hustle is learning from a big homie, whether they want to admit it or not.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like, take a couple notes from the people that kind of did it before you, or are in the same, spot as you, because they made mistakes that you don't want to make, and you've made mistakes that they can learn from too. So.
Right. So now moving forward, right, maybe into the rest of the year or even next year, what can we look forward and seeing from Davenport Abney and also Aaron Abney, the artist, creative, and just the person, human in general?
Well, we have a couple developments that we're working on, trying to get across that finish line, get funding for. So we're working on a tiny home community in Detroit.
Okay. Wow.
Innovative housing solutions to the neighborhood. Uh,
Wow.
Experiencing development like no other. And so I definitely want to be a part of the restructuring, and like it's not re-beautifying, but it's already beautiful. Sorry, I'm getting another call, but I definitely want to be a part of that. So we're working on a tiny home community. And then I am also considering, we're working on this, but um, Aaron Abney, the leader of Davenport Abney, may be going back to school.
Wow. Hold on.
Yes.
I got the applause button. Let's do it. Yes, sir. Going back to school.
Going back to school. Boom, boom, boom. So, as everybody knows, I was fortunate enough to graduate with Kachi at Howard University. There is so much that I still want to learn. And I want to learn at the expense of a university and a larger corporation.
Yeah, right.
Right now, I learn at the expense of myself, and it's hard. I won't lie, it's hard. But I think for us to get to the level I see us at, I need just a little bit more knowledge in the development realm. So we're going to take a step back. Davenport Abney is going to continue to serve our clients. We're going to do it at a more efficient way, though. Our model is changing a little bit. I'm not going to be as hands-on. I have a great team that I've been lucky enough to train, and they get it. They understand where we're going. They have great taste, which was probably why I hired them. But they're going to kind of be the face of the organization for me while I go grab this master's real quick, and then we'll be back at it. And hopefully we'll be back doing larger homes and subdivisions at that time.
Boom. Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Well, congratulations. And one, going to school is not easy. Making the decision is definitely not easy. And paying for it is not easy either. But glad to see that you on your Martha Stewart shit. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that the business is running by itself.
Yeah, you gotta make it run. And I'm gonna definitely be involved in the business for the next couple of years as I attack this new goal. But I think sometimes as a leader, you have to know when it's time to go to the next level. And so I know it's
right. Nah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And like I said, cannot wait for Davenport Avenue 3.0, because that's probably around the time when I'm gonna need to buy my house. So I'm gonna need you to come by.
And we're growing. We're so young. And I don't want to live with any regret. I want to go get everything I can. So.
Okay. So as you know, I love a lightning round, and I think it'll be great if I do ask you the lightning round questions.
Let's do it.
From the very first interview that we did, to see maybe people go back and see the interview, maybe the answers are different or the same.
Okay, let's do it.
What is your favorite room to design?
Right now, I am into like outdoor spaces. So like pools and like outdoor kitchens and like really areas where people can get their quality of life, get that measure up. So those spaces a little bit more now. But so I think I said living rooms last time. So
yeah,
now
I think so too. Yeah.
It's outdoor living rooms.
Okay, what is the perfect color?
Now I would say the perfect color is definitely subjective. But I am on the white end. I just did a full home in Dove White by Benjamin Moore. So if you like
Wow.
a clean aesthetic, I would definitely recommend either Dove White by Benjamin Moore or Swiss Coffee. Swiss Coffee is going to give you a little bit more of a gray undertone. It looks really great on cabinets if you want to refinish your cabinets. But Dove White and Swiss Coffee, both in the white ivory family.
Nice. And I love how like your answers are now a lot more like Steve Jobsy, and there's like
Bro, we
scenery
had
in the background.
and we had to go through it. I know what I'm saying. Yeah.
What are your favorite artists to listen to while painting?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Dirk just dropped the album, so
I think before it was like Jasmine Sullivan or something.
yeah, it was like I'm in a different space in my life. Okay,
Right.
I'm not crying over nobody no more. It's Dirk is good. Summer Walker, Summer Marker. This new album is incredible. I've been playing that Two Summer from Cole every day.
Right.
I would say, and then Drake as always, bro. He makes me feel
Right.
like I can run the world. So
So who is your dream celebrity to design for?
my dream celebrity to design for, um, I would say, I would say Drake again. Drake's
Okay.
in Toronto was done by one of my favorite designers, Ferris. And I would love for him to give me an opportunity to compete with Ferris. So
Yeah.
I think I want Drake.
He got a lot of space for both of y'all to get y'all dudes on. So
Yeah, now we could definitely go crazy. I take so much inspiration from his designer, so I definitely would love to see if I could outdo him on his own work.
okay, what are 3 ways that you love to center yourself when you're not working?
Oh my gosh! So now I practice yoga.
Wow. We getting old, Aaron. You doing yoga now. Damn.
wellness. Wellness is the goal. So I practice yoga a lot more. I'm really into like water and like sitting next to water. So we have the river. And I found a couple little hideout spots by the river. So I go there. Um, and then I walk a lot now. So I'm walking at least 5 miles a day, just like through the
Wow.
feeling the city. Cause you know me, I was Mr. Uber everywhere.
Yeah, right.
And now I'm like, I can walk and I can experience things. So I don't want to miss out on the guys on the street or, the bus or like the sounds of like the car coming by. I don't want to miss out on all those things. They make me
Right,
feel
right.
so.
No, definitely. And as always, I have to end it off with 3 lessons that you learned on your journey. I would say in the last 2 years, right? And now this growth of from when we first talked and how we first talked about your business and your journey and what you saw for yourself. And now seeing you 2 years later and you're doing the things that you realized purely manifested it. So what are 3 things you carried with you so far?
3 things. I've taken this from somebody, but the blessing is in the redirection.
Right.
Um, every contract will not work out. Every client will not work out. I think you can strive for that goal. You want to please everyone, but sometimes you guys just aren't aligned. It's okay. I will also say that sometimes it's okay to change the plan, not the goal. If the
Right.
goal is something that speaks to your heart, and speaks to the person that you want to be, change the plan, not the goal.
Right.
And judge you when you change the plan, it's okay. They're gonna talk anyway. Cool. And then finally, I would say from a financial standpoint, pay yourself first. Every,
Mm-hmm.
wait, and I hate to say this, but like you don't want to be out there owing people. I get that. You don't want contractors, the IRS, want nobody coming after you, and I fully support. You want pay everybody. But I will say that make sure you're okay. Make sure that your margins are there so that you can actually survive. Because if you are not making a livable wage doing your job, as most entrepreneurs don't, it's really hard. And I went through that for the first like 7 months or so. And I was just like, no, like I have to I'm trying to build a life. Like
Right. Right.
I need a savings. I need a retirement. Like I gotta, make more. So pay
Right.
yourself. And you paying yourself will allow you to show up better, which will bring more money to your organization.
Wow, wow. And I love ending it on a money note. Thank you so much, Aaron Abney, for once again coming in. You know that you're my brother for life, honestly
I
speaking. Thank
love
you
you.
for doing this again, man.
That's Kachi.
I love you, man. I love you, man. And you guys can check out my man Aaron at by Aaron Abney on Instagram, and make sure you consult with him on your design, interior design needs at Davenport Abney, as well as davenportabney.com. Make sure you guys check him out because he is doing the damn thing before he's too expensive for you to do the thing in your house. Check out this interview.
And I'm never too expensive for my people. Let's work.
Well, for your people, for me, you know what I'm saying? You're not too expensive. I'm in for the other people.
Like board of directors group. You're in like that upper echelon group. So,
well, excuse me, you pop my collar as I do the thing. But you guys can check out this interview at the DC Voice on Instagram and YouTube and get more information on future interviews. Amen. It's Kickin with Kachi, and we're out of here. Peace.
bye, friend.